Welcome to Greystoke Studio. Today we're going to look at the Minimoog and how to program the Minimoog. A lot of people say there's a lot of problems with the tuning, so let's have a look at the tuning first. Yeah, it doesn't sound very good, does it? So here we go. First thing is to tune. Get a sine tone up. This is a sine tone. That's in tune. That's about as much as you want it in tune, and the bottom oscillator. So I've tuned this oscillator slightly flat and this oscillator slightly sharp. And then if you play these two oscillators, which are tuned around the main oscillator, here it's still quite a bit out of tune, but that's what you need for the fatness. So if we go for a bass sound, now it sounds good. You can hear it's slightly out of tune, but that's what you want, and it's analog out of tune. Okay, so here we go. This is a standard bass sound. I've got the cutoff. I like to have the keyboard control on shade 2. Cutoff a -4. Filter on about 4. That gives you more or less bass. That's the bass you'll get. And then you've got the amount of contour, which is the more contour you have, the more it opens the filter before it's controlled by the decay and the sustain. So if I put the decay on full, it's open. If you bring this down onto 0, it's nothing. I've opened it up, so it's open when you leave it on. And then if you knock the decay down to say 400 and the sustain level down to 0, then it will go up to this amount for this long, and then it will go down to that level. Here you go. To show you clearly, and just to show you extreme. And then if I put that on 400, alright, and then maybe just to make that 6 so that it opens a bit but not so much, and then have a little bit of sustain. Okay, so now with the decay open like that, you can mess around with the filter. This gives it's just like the resonance. They call it the whole section's called filter. This is called emphasis. On other synths, it's called resonance. Or you can go extreme. So on We Can Work It Out by Chaka Khan. As you can hear, it's kind of got a squelchy sound on Superstition, and then we can turn this down a little bit for like the bass line on Superstition. Okay, so this synth is famous for two sounds: the bass sound and for the lead sound. It's famous for other sounds as well, but these are some of the most famous iconic sounds of the Minimoog. So, would you like to know how to get a great lead sound? So, who would you go for lead sound? Probably Chic Corea. Okay, so Chic Corea, funny enough, with this big, awesome 3 oscillator synth, would use 1 oscillator. So he loved this mid between the square wave and the pulse width, which is, on the Jupiter 8, it's switchable. You can fade from there all the way to this one, but on this one it's just got 3 switches. But the great thing about the Minimoog is you can really hear the difference between the waveforms. So I'll just show you the different waveforms. Pulse width, in between pulse width and square, sawtooth. This is a waveform I've only seen on the Minimoog. It's a lovely sounding. It's like sine but not. And then you've got the sine wave. So let's use this waveform, which Chic Corea liked a lot. We don't need this oscillator, and this oscillator I'm going to set up as a low frequency like modulation. So here we go. I've got to turn that on to 0. Okay, so Chic Corea. Here we go. It's the similar to the bass setup. It's a bit. So the thing about Chic Corea is that he used one oscillator, so the waveforms weren't oscillating with each other, so it's just a pure tone. And I remember when I first got the Minimoog, I spent ages trying to recreate that single tone, and I was using two oscillators like this, tuning it to get it exact, and I could not get it the same. And then I realised he was only using one oscillator. Amazing. Okay, so here we go. End Forever by Chic Corea's band. Alright, okay, I was just making sure there's no... Wait, okay, here we go. And then and so on and so on. So what other sounds can you get? This is a great synth for doing picking sounds. So I'm going to use the sawtooth and the pulse width. Tuned it really exactly to show the Chic Corea sound, but we don't want it exact. There you go, it's nice and moving. So for like a picky sound, like for a guitar pick, have it on about 200, have this on quite low, and then maybe knock it down an octave. On the Jupiter 4, it doesn't have modulation easily accessible. You have to use the pitch bend or modulation. So I've got into a knack of using the pitch bend for modulation, and it works on all the synths. And it's a nice sound because you've got complete control over the modulation. Okay. So another sound, a big sound on the Minimoog is when you have these great big sweeping sawtooths. So we need the decay on here. Had that on about, on 12 o'clock. This one about 600. So that is like a D train. As you can see, it's very easy to flick between the different sounds. Another sound on the Minimoog is a D-tray sound, so we're going to use, we'll use the same two waveforms again, but I'm going to have different octaves, 8 on here and 4 on here. I think we'll knock that up. Here we go. And obviously the next part's done on a Prophet 5, which I will show on another demo. Another famous thing you can do on the Minimoog, we're going back to bass sounds, but the Moog is really good at bass sounds, is opening the filter. So we put the emphasis on about 7 and open the filter like this. Another sound on the synth is the brass sounds. They can be a little bit pony, but they're quite interesting, and when you've got nothing else, they can do the job. And I find that these good brass sounds are good to put with other sounds. So you need a little bit of attack. So MIDI that with another brass sound and have it down an octave as well, so you play them at the same time. Okay, so that's a quick summary of the Minimoog and some of the sounds you can get out of it and how to get the sounds out of it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like, subscribe, and come back to my channel for more interesting videos on how to do things, recreations of other people's famous tracks, and me just doodling around on all my many analog and digital synths. Thank you very much. Andy Whitmore, Grey State Studio.